Okay. Sir, I told you you're not allowed in here if you're going to clap with that. Hello. Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen of the planet Earth and surrounding environs on the M50. This is a live OB, as it's known in the trade, an outside broadcast. We are outside the province of Leinster. We are outside the county of Wicklow. We are outside the beautiful borough of Bray. We are all the way down in Waterford, County Waterford, just off the Ardmore beach, getting a bit of sun, doing a few runs on the beach, and we're going to test the local police constabulary with a late night skinny dip, which will commence pretty soon. So welcome to episode 3, I believe, of the Couch Pundit podcast. I'm your host, former Woman's Way centrefold, current OnlyFans superstar. For those of you that subscribe already, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You are keeping me in the lifestyle I've become accustomed to. For those of you who haven't, maybe email me for the address because it's not for public consumption. I'm laughing because it's you know those half truths we sometimes tell people. You know, I can't think of one right now, but this is one I'm telling you. The couchpunditarland@gmail.com for the OnlyFans address. And for the small fee of $7 a month, we could never have eye contact in public spaces. Is this a joke or is this real? Send me an email and we'll find out. But yes, we are in episode 3, I believe. We really should know better by now, but we haven't. I would like to thank everyone for the welfare checks that came in after CHECKS, not CHEQUES. They would have been better, but the welfare checks that people sent out for me last night after the podcast, I apologise if it appeared that I was maybe a little bit more down than I thought I was. I just vent, and you know, you beautiful people and your beautiful ears are on the receiving end of said venting. So I apologise. I'll try and keep it upbeat today, upbeat this week. You know, not much has been happening. I've been actively avoiding news, and I think avoiding news is a bit like, you know, these people who talk about intermittent fasting, and they're all these kind of self-help gurus on Instagram. Funnily enough, actually, sorry, tangent, maybe an edit for Rick here. On Instagram recently, I've been getting a lot of targeted advertisements for haemorrhoid cream. Now, I've never Googled. I would challenge any of you intelligent people. How do you spell hemorrhoid? I'd have no idea. I don't think I've ever Googled it. It has never been in a pornographic search I've ever made on the internet. I don't know if I've said it. I've never bought anything to do with hemorrhoids. I do remember something funny in Wayne's World. Was it Wayne's World 2? Where your man Noah, who owns the arcade, had hemorrhoids. And he had this little balloon or cushion that he had to have on every seat. But anyway, yeah, Instagram thinks I've piles, basically. When in reality, I've an absolutely savage arse. Tremendous hoop. Top 5 attractions in this country is my party area. And at my OnlyFans, which is it a joke or isn't it a joke? Sure, subscribe and find out. You would find out. But moving on, this is not an advertisement for my OnlyFans account, which does or doesn't exist. We are sitting in this kind of inception area right now where, you know, what is real and what isn't real. You know, I think before the tangent about the piles there, I've been avoiding news, and I'm comparing that to these gobshites who do intermittent fasting, you know, to make themselves feel better. I was on Instagram. Sure, add me. It's a bit of crack. At KDUBDD. Rolls off the tongue. KDUBDD. It's also a weird Tourette's safety word, but we can move on from there. But yeah, I was on Instagram, and every kind of month the ads that roll through are different. So We've kind of had the usual kind of, do you want to be bigger and stronger, feel better about yourself? Do you? And there was a lot of kind of regrow your hair stuff. You know, I was like, oh, I'm fine being bald. And then there was, the haemorrhoids is the new one. So I don't know what the next one would be. I haven't had, and it's only a matter of time now that I'm saying this out loud, there's been no targeted Viagra ads, which is unfortunate, because usually there's a discount attached to these ads, which, I won't lie to you, I would take advantage of it. But yeah, how are you guys doing? How was your week? How was your life experience in the last 7 days since we last chatted? I've gotten a few emails actually over the last little while. Good to talk to people. I know some people don't want to leave public comments for fear of ridicule. That's what social media is. It's a race to ridicule and offence. That's kind of, if people can't do one of those things, they don't really, then they probably just send pictures of their dicks to Twitter or something. I don't know. But for me, social media is mostly a place for dick pics. But there you go. That's enough of my Twitter experience. That's the OnlyFans thing is half true. That's a full falsity there. I don't send dick pics on Twitter because I can't add a filter to it. You know, you can put a filter like, you're a dancing reindeer at Christmas time, but it's your penis, and that's why. Listen, here's the thing, right? And I know a lot of you beautiful ladies, you all think that men are complicated and you never know what we're thinking. The simplicity of a human male, whether it's a gay male or a straight male, can be broken down into one story. Okay? And the story is happening now. When they added cameras to phones, do you remember those? And what was the first one? The first one was like a weird silver. I'm just making sure we're still recording because I can't handle starting this again. But do you remember the silver flip phone that Vodafone came out with? Other mobile providers are available and they're much better. But what was it? Was it a Sony or something like that? I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There's a camera on a phone. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to take a sip of my beautiful wine here, and then I'm going to answer it for you. When they added a camera to a phone, what do you think men did, and what do you think women did? Rick, if you have some sort of timer or like countdown music, add it in now for about 4 seconds, and then I'll tell you the answer. Go. You guys think about the answer. Oh, it's beautiful beverage. I'm actually not an alcoholic, by the way. I just drink whenever I'm talking to you. It's not you, it's me. So the answer to our previous question is, when a woman realised that there was a camera on her phone, she took a picture of her pet dog. That's not code. Her pet dog. Or some sort of landscape, just to see if the thing works. You know what I mean? Not really of anything massively important. Apologies to the pet dog, but just to see if it worked. You know what I mean? When a fella realised that there's a phone with a camera on it, and I'm kind of embarrassed and not really embarrassed to say this. We all took pictures of our own knobs. And we all know this. And that's why, ladies, you need to realise that we are... I know you don't want to admit it. And I know you don't want to, make that public realisation. But we are beyond stupid. Now, we're useful. That's a separate thing. But we're beyond stupid. Like, if you think about when you're in secondary school, the amount of times we as fellas could have been talking to you, learning about you, making friendships, maybe giving you the odd grope with permission, of course. Instead, we would draw dicks on everything. We would, put pieces of paper in our mouths and throw them at the whiteboard. I'm not old enough to be having a blackboard in... Sorry, can you say blackboard now? a blackboard, a board of dark colour that you put chalk on. I didn't want to offend anyone there, you see. I'm not that old anyway. We had whiteboards in school. Sorry, not whiteboards, Caucasian boards. Didn't want to offend any white people. That's actually pretty funny. I'm making myself laugh on the inside, and you guys can't hear it. So, because I don't have my usual microphone here, I have my $4.99 from the garage. You know those weird headphones that break whenever you turn left. I'm speaking at you through those, so I think you might hear the microphone rubbing off my beard. I promise it's my beard. But if you subscribe to my Patreon, it will be rubbing off something else. That's the that's the second tier for mostly the gay gentlemen. They like that kind of thing. So excuse me. But yeah, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, sorry, ladies. Men are simple, and so if you spend all of your time complaining about men, men aren't the problem. You're the problem. I'm here to tell you, because as a fella, I actually can't believe the amount of women who think men are difficult. And I think one day Rick and I will do a live podcast with the women of the night. No, just general women. We're going to get Brazzers up on stage and have a chat. No, we're going to get you beautiful ladies from the LBN up on to have a chat with us about what you think about men. Because I think the time is right. It's 2019. We're in the summer months. I actually got a little bit of sunburn on my bonce on my head there today. Let's bridge that gap, because there's enough to be given out about without giving out about each other. You know, men are simple, women are complicated. Women need love to have sex. Men need sex to be in love. And there's a lie involved there that keeps the circle of life going. You know? There's a circle there that we need to keep going, and there's one lie that kind of bridges that gap. And that's what that lie is. I love you, darling. Oh! And that's followed by a couple more OOs. And that's how that works, you know? Whereas, you know, women show anger in a different way to a man. If a man doesn't like you or is angry with you, and I'm not talking about man and woman anger, I'm talking about man on man anger, which is not something you want to Google, you know, with the safe search off. But every time Rick listens to this podcast and he has to edit it, he wants to punch me in the face because he's angry. But if Rick was Rickina, if you just let that image settle in your mind for a couple of seconds, and obviously you can, I'm sure Rickina has her own OnlyFans account. I'm actually making myself laugh on the inside. That's how funny I find that mental image. But yes, if Rick was a woman, right, Rick would tell his friend, he wouldn't tell me. You know what I mean? So when you think of men, I actually think women give men more credit than we actually deserve. We're not bad people. Sorry, I take that back. We're all bad people. That's pretty funny. No, we're not all bad people. We're very simple. And I think we're so simple that women think there must be something else going on here. It's like that meme, that meme, what do they call it? M-E-M-E, meme. Listen, that was invented after I got on the internet, so I don't know what that word is, how you pronounce it. The meme. You know what I'm talking about. Where there's the guy has turned away from the girl in bed, and she's kind of, the speech bubble above her head is, I wonder what he's probably thinking about other girls, and he's kind of going, you know, is Brian O'Driscoll the greatest human to ever live? That's what he's actually thinking about. And he's right, actually. Brian O'Driscoll is the greatest human ever lived, to ever live. But that's the encapsulation. Could we just stop and say, and appreciate the fact that I used the word encapsulation there in the right context at the right time, at the right moment. I'm massively intelligent, and I don't get the appreciation that I deserve because I have such a savage arse. Like, I know big words like delicatessen, and I use them in the right time. So remember that, right? Men are simple, but we have our moments. And as you can tell by this point in our conversation, I didn't really have any plans because I'm on holidays. I'm off the grid, and on the wine. I don't really have a huge amount to talk to you about. I was reading on the Twitter today about kind of politicians and stuff like that, and it got me angry, so I decided to stop reading. But I will say this. Going back to the Maria Bailey on the swing in Sophie's, aside from the mortification of falling off that swing, actually, can I ask you guys a question? Now, I don't know if any of you have been up there in the Dean Hotel. Great spot to stay in, but I don't know if you've been up there in Sophie's. I assume you have to wear a little dress. But again, that's open to men and women, because in 2019, all of us can wear little dresses. But have you all been up there, and have you been on the swings? Have you been close to falling off? If you have, let me know. thecouchpunditarland@gmail.com. You can head over to the old website and have a gander at that, thecouchpunditarland.com as well. Spread the word, spread the joy. But also we're on Facebook, The Couch Pundit Ireland as well, I think. My Twitter is @nkeegan. We didn't do the branding very well. On my Instagram, it's mostly pictures of my beard that gay fellas like, and horny housewives. I am a hit with horny housewives. So I don't know what's going on, but I am the housewives' favourite, based on my Instagram. And actually, remind me to tell you in the next couple of weeks about the gay porn star who added me on Instagram last week and who has been sending me DMs. Remind me to tell you about that. But anyway, on Instagram @KDUBDD. What were we talking about there? This is why I shouldn't be allowed to make a podcast, because by the time I get through with the plugs, I forgot what we were talking about before that. I don't know. It doesn't matter, does it? You know, let's just roll forward. I think the thing for us to do, and this is the challenge going into the week, and this is going to be a short podcast this week. Thank all the gods, says you. I think we need to do a summer reset, because I think we're too worried about likes. I think we're too worried about numbers on a scale. I think we're too worried about what people think. We're more worried about what other people think about us than what we think about ourselves, because we're actually too frightened to think about ourselves. And that is deep for a fella sculling the wine here. I'm not an alcoholic, really. I just love an old beer or wine or whatever. But yes, so the drive down to Waterford kind of got my mind clear, got my mind moving. And you kind of there are times where there are people who think about you and say things to you, or about you to someone else and things like that. And it does get to you sometimes, you know. And the thing that settles me in that, and I'm going to allude to a name. I'm not going to drop a name, because the name is not the issue. A current Intercontinental champion, without dropping his name, and actually, unfortunately, I wouldn't be massive mates with him anymore. All the guys who we were all friends with back in the day, sure, when they get famous, they forget about the bald fellas. They remember the guys who were good back in the day. So, but anyway, cheers to himself. But anyway, that's separate. The thing he always told me, because when he was going from Japan to WWE, he would tell me that in his group of friends, there was half of them who was saying, "Stay where you are. You know where you stand," and all that sort of stuff. And then there'd be a couple of us who would say, "Well, you've served your time, you're confident in your ability, you're still young enough to take the risk. Why wouldn't you go and try and make a bit of cash?" There are always people who are going to talk shit about you. And that was the thing I had said to him. No matter what, There's always going to be people who talk shit about you. And he says, yeah. I said, there are going to be people who talk shit about you because you're doing something that they can't do. And you can see the kind of a weight lift off the shoulders, kind of going, well, yeah, I get it. You know, not that he didn't understand that already, but you kind of go, well, yeah. And so for us normal people, you know, just getting through life, if someone is talking shit about you or talking behind your back, there's no need to let it take up any headspace. No need to let it rent any space in your head, because we don't have a lot of brain waves left. We don't have a lot of brain movements left, you know, in our lifetimes. If we live to 80, and look, some of us are 76 right now, you kind of you find what's important. So don't, unless you're trolling people, which is a beautiful pastime. That's something we should all engage in. Whether it's in real life or on social media, we should all be trolling people. But don't let people take up headspace that don't deserve it. People only talk shit about people who do things that they can't do. For example, now I do try and not talk shit about people, and I'm not going to name the people that I do talk shit about. But the reason I talk shit about them, and it's not that often, but I'm going to be honest with you because this is where we're at in our relationship, I talk shit about them because I don't understand how they're making a living doing what they're doing. I'm not going to allude more than that. And it's not an attack on the person or anything like that. I just don't get it. And that doesn't mean it's wrong. That just means I don't understand how that person makes a living doing what they're doing when they're not very good at what they're trying to do. Am I slyly enough throwing a match into that passive-aggressive bonfire? Okay. Because I'm on my summer holidays here, guys. Down here with a load of us for the week, and Waterford is a beautiful spot. I actually went up to the Cliff House Hotel for a pint, and it was a pint on the side of a cliff. Like, I was sitting on they didn't serve it to me on the side of a cliff and said go get it, and they kicked me. No, the viewing point was on the side of a cliff. Well worth a shot. The Ardmore Beach is amazing. It'll clear your head, and that's what we try to do in life. Life is tough. Whether you're working, whether you're in college, whether you're trying to be a feckin' engineer, a pro wrestler, a fucking architect, whatever you're trying to do, whether you're trying to run a podcast network or try and get more people to your OnlyFans account, which may or may not exist, the game is just about keeping the head above water. Because whether if you own a gaff right now, and that's myself, you've 100 years of debt. But you've got a piece of land that no one can take from you. Well, they kind of can, because you can't afford to have it in the first place. And we all wake up with that every morning. So whether it's a college debt, a car debt, whatever it is, life is tough. So that's what I'm saying. Let's not let people who are not important take up headspace. So this is our challenge for the week. We're going to ignore the scale, the weighing scale. Because another thing we'll talk about down the line is my journey through losing 10 kilos. And it's not hard. It's a challenge, but it's not hard. Getting up in the morning on a Monday morning and going to work was harder than what I did. And most of you do that already. Most of you go to college on a Monday morning already. That's harder than losing 10 kilos. So we'll talk about that down the line, because people make money off keeping you going back. Weight Watchers going, here, Sheila, you only lost half a pound. What happened to you? It's like, maybe Sheila's cat died. Maybe she's upset. They kind of keep rubbing you down and not rubbing you down. Wait, that's a good thing. Making you feel bad. And that's what work does, that's what life does, that's what everything does. So let's try to eliminate the negative headspace for the week. So we're going to have a chat next Tuesday, and we're gonna and do some emails during the week. Was it tough? Was it easy? Is it hard to keep off these little arguments on social media, or is it easy? Or are you trolling them? Or what's the story? Because for me, if someone says something that I disagree with to the point where I'm going to tweet a stranger, I'll just block them. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a stranger. That's. I think we should do that. I think most of you would end up blocking me, but that's fine. If it makes your life better, then that's what we need to do. But look, let's close it out like this. This has been a conversation between the two of us. Get in touch with me if you want to get in touch with me. We can keep this. I tell you what we'll do actually. If you want, we're going to start a couple of things here on the Couch Pundit here on the LBN and out in the whole wide world. We'll do shout outs every other week. But here's what we're going to do, and I've just randomly thought of this now. I'm going to be like Cilla Black. I know that sounds racist, but that was a real person. And she ran a show called Blind Date in the 90s. If anyone listening to this has a crush on anyone else in the LBN, because there's about 3,000 of you in there circulating around the whole network, and you want to be set up, I'm going to start that. The Keego dating service is in full effect. So that's what we're going to do. So if you fancy someone else you see at the Low Blows parties, I'm actually going to go to the SummerSlam one. I've booked the time off, so I'm going to SummerSlam, so I'll see you all there. But in the meantime, whether it's if there's an AEW show or something else on, and there's someone you're looking at across the bar at these parties, you know, is it Sexy Jerry O'Brien? Is it Nipples Justy? Is it Randy Rick? I can make that happen. For a small fee, I could set you up with these beautiful people. So let me know anyway. thecouchpunditarland@gmail.com, thecouchpunditarland.com. And obviously everything you need for your ears is on the Low Blows Network. But look, let's leave it like this. Thank you for listening to me again. I hope you're well. I hope the week was a good week. I hope next week is the best week of the year so far. Get in touch with me and we can have a chat. We can give you shout outs on this beautiful podcast. But look, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy whatever your Wednesday brings you, your Tuesday brings you. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. It would be better if it was midnight and Tuesday into hump day. There's more quadruple entendres there with the hump day. But regardless, let's hug those we love. Let's tolerate those we don't. And let's always try and listen to each other.